E3 here, embodied, empowered, and ecstatic. Just as I am, even with brain cancer, even with extreme pain in my head, even with staples in my head. So it's not to bypass what's happening in the 3D, but just letting the 3D be as it is and staying present in who I am. And I think we're all trying to do this in our own way. This is a huge awakening for the whole world. So I've found that there are whether it's if we're by ourselves or if we're interacting with other people or energies, mostly with people, but we can either be feeding dark, fearful energies, or we can be feeding life-supporting energies. For example, well, basically, I found that when, and maybe you've had a similar experience, when we're in fear, anxiety, stress, worry, when we're being really negative, it's almost like we're being drained of energy. So where does that energy go? It's a very interesting thing to explore. I believe that there are energies and entities in the universe that feed off of fear. They feed off of negativity, they feed off of violence, and they feed off of disconnection from our unique vibration. When we are disconnected from ourselves, it's almost like we're feeding certain energies. And also, if we are following our unique vibration, if we're following our passions, if we are loving ourselves and other people, that feeds other energies, life-supporting energies. But then there's an interesting question of, well, what can we do? Like, especially if we're feeding dark energies, what can we do? Because if we fight against it, that's just feeding it more. If we get afraid, that's feeding it more. If we run away, that's fighting it more. If we do nothing, sometimes that's feeding the dark energies more. So I think that's what makes humans really powerful, that we are truly between heaven and earth. It could be metaphorical, it could be literal, but we have the capacity to feel all realms. So it's almost like we are many gods and goddesses. And we have the ability to communicate with many different realms at the same time. And I believe that there's a thing called free will. So my prayer is that in this awakening that's happening on the planet, we will use our free will to call upon, well, we'll bring integration between any stress and trauma and fear and pain and disconnection patterns and addictions and escape routines, bring integration between that and the dreams in our heart, our gifts, the positive energies that we bring. So we'll bring integration, and then we can grow to the next level. And that's what I'm trying to do in my life. So all of this pain, all of this, the brain cancer, I feel lucky because a lot of people have these traumas and they're not aware of it. But for me, this brain cancer is a clear 3D manifestation of all the past fears, past disconnection patterns, past toxins I've put in my body. It's not to blame myself, because a lot of it I didn't even create. A lot of the foods I ate when I was in school, I wasn't aware of the GMOs, the pesticides, the toxins. and in the environment, all of the toxins. So I think just as important as awareness of what's happening in our reality and our world, compassion is just as important, if not more important. I really feel like that's what the Christ consciousness is about. Not just ascending, but actually having compassion for all parts of ourselves and for our neighbors, even for those people that we feel are evil and trying to hurt the world, to have compassion. And then take action. So with that being said, I'm calling in the energy of E3 for myself, for you, that we all may feel embodied, empowered, and ecstatic, just as we are, even while in a human body. That we don't have to wait till we leave this body to feel love. There's so much pain. So for me, it's a great practice in being as humble as I can be and resting as much as I need to. And then when there are moments of energy and strength, forgetting and not even acknowledging any doubts, any fears, any limitations, and completely focusing my energy on what I'm creating and who I am. So it's a very cool practice that I'm experiencing right now. I didn't consciously choose to have the brain cancer and the extreme pain and 4 head surgeries with 1 more coming up, an infection in my head. I didn't consciously choose that, but my soul did choose it, and God did choose it for me. So why not make the most of it? Okay, so with that being said, may this prayer go out to all beings and all realms. I am embodied. I am empowered. I am ecstatic, just as I am. And may you be as well. E3 here, wishing you well.